Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maddox AI and Post Sales Summit. You are currently watching the Automate the Sales to CS Handoff session. I'm super excited to introduce our speaker. And as I introduce her, I'm going to have her answer our icebreaker question of what's one AI use case you wish existed but haven't seen yet. We have the wonderful Liron Yahalomi, Vice President of Customer Success at Docket with us today. Hey, Liron.
Hi, Vex.
What is one AI use case you wish existed but haven't seen yet?
So I actually thought about it quite a lot. And due to the current situation, I need an AI agent that can join my family group chat. And it can flag for me when my mom is trying to pull me into a guilt trip and my aunt is just posting some emotional blackmail with a sunset quote. And then it should answer on my behalf.
I kind of want to volunteer to be that AI for you. This sounds just like very amusing and interesting.
Good.
Awesome. So before I pass it off to Liron, just a reminder for everyone, if you have any questions throughout her presentation, go ahead and drop it in chat and the Q&A. At the end of the session, we'll carve out some time to make sure those questions get answered. So with that, I'll pass it off.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. I'm gonna do my best to try and monitor the chat and the Q&A and everything else, but I'll rely on Bex and my helpers in the back to do that for me. I'm excited to show you all today an actual agent that I built that my team is using today, and I will walk you through how and why I built it, and hopefully you come out of this inspired and get something that you can use every single day. Share screen. Here we go. Slideshow. All right. So I'm taking you through a handoff agent that will solve the problem of CS to sales handoff because I do not want to sit through another call or meeting or read notes about AI handoff, which is why I built this. So imagine this, because this happens in your team today, yesterday, last week. You join a customer call on the CS side, and the customer says, "Did Sale ever tell you that we needed this live by July?" And you look at the calendar and it's June 4th. And it's not that the handoff didn't happen. It's not that information didn't get transferred. It's the context that evaporated somewhere between everything else that you have, between the call recorder and your CRM notes and a Slack message no one read, or an email that's buried somewhere deep inside. But the kickoff happens anyway. And here's the thing you need to remember. Sales didn't lie. CS just never heard the truth. Sales is not the villain here. The villain is actually the handoff process. The context exists, but no one ever gets to it. So why now? We've been doing this for over 20 years. If you've been in customer success, you've created a handoff document, templates, processes, meetings, whatever it may be. All of these existed and none of this has worked. The difference is that right now we actually have a tool that can help us do it. The beautiful thing about AI, LLMs can read in unstructured data. They can take data without bias, and they can take that data and create something for us. And so an agent today can take all the notes that are in the CRM, everything that is sitting inside of a call recorder, and automatically bring it forth in a non-biased format that can actually exist in a place where the rest of your team exists today. And it can call out flags or information that's missing or things that you should know and really help you put everything together. This is no longer a problem that we're not equipped to fix. This is a problem we can actually fix. So what is the actual problem? Well, the problem is that the customer remembers one story in their head, and that's the story that they told themselves. Maybe they actually shared it with the salesperson throughout the different calls and discoveries that they did. And your problem, if you're in post sales, is all that information lives in at least 7 places. I checked internally for us, it is 7 places. You might have 17. But all this information lives in different places. All the information is somewhere. The problem is we need to translate it into something we can actually act on. All of these different places have a context of information that was discussed, that was documented, that was shared, but we don't have it in one place. And here's the real problem beyond it. We go into handoff and we actually don't have information. And information that we need is the what I call purr. You need to have this. You need to know what the promise that was made, not just what we as a company committed to, what we said would be active, what is included in the contract, the people. Who are they? Who's going to be part of the implementation? Who's going to be part of the renewal? Who makes decisions? Who are your champions, your buyers, the detractors, all the people who are involved? You need to know the pain, a specific pain. Why are they buying now? You need to know what proof you need to make, not just at 30, 60, and 90 days, but what proof they need in order to renew, expand, shout it from the rooftops, become your next case study or referral. And you also need to know risk. What are some risks that are happening? What is fragile about the timeline? What integrations are critical? What do you need to know about expectations or resources or the people who are in the room? And an AI agent can help you collect all of that. Now, this is on the left is what your typical Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks like for a CSM who has to step into a kickoff call or an onboarding call with a new customer. They probably spend, I don't know, a minimum of 2.5 hours listening to calls and trying to put together a complete document of what this could look like when we actually get to it and mashing it all together into something. But at the end of the day, there's an agent that can do that. That agent is triggered the minute that a deal closes in the CRM. It takes 4 data sources for me today and does the work in under 90 seconds. It tells me who the champions are, the anti-sponsors, who are my risk takers here, who are the ones I should be aware of. It tells me specifically what's the promise we made in quotes from the calls, tells me any risk that we would have. And then for me, the most important thing is it falls into a place where my team already works. For us, it is Slack. Now, one thing that you should know is if you're lucky, only 1 in 4 of your customers will turn this year. If you're unlucky, it's higher than one. 60 to 70% of customers decide if they're going to churn in the first 90 days. And one thing that you need to remember is this kickoff call that you're about to have, it's not about the kickoff, and it's not about onboarding, and it's not about the QBR that you're thinking about in 90 days. It's actually about the renewal. They're making the renewal decision during your kickoff call. And so not being prepared for it is no longer an option. You have to get to where it needs to be. So how do you set up this agent? It's pretty simple. There's a prompt that triggers the deal when it hits closed, hits the CRM, pulls all the data fields from the CRM, pulls data fields from the call recorder, takes everything from internal communications, emails, Slack channels, drives, wherever you keep your notes. It looks for flags and promises, like I said, and it drafts a message and then it delivers it directly into Slack or Teams. If you work in Teams, it can do that for you as well. It takes a minute to set this up, but once you do, this is what it looks like. The agent will go into each one of those data places for me and ingest all the information and give me a handout. Get everything that I need, could even include a kickoff agenda. Depends on how you set up your agent. All of it can be in one place and ready for you. When the agent is ready, for me, it falls into a Slack channel called CS Handoff. And my ask from the sales team and what we do then is then we can have a meeting to talk about the accuracy of the information in here. Is anything missing? Did anything get lost in context that we weren't aware of that we need to talk about? But everything sits in here for me and everything is ready for me in my Slack channel. Everyone in the company can see what deals are coming in, how many risks are in there, what flags have been risen, who are the key people who are in this conversation. All of it lives inside one tiny message that was produced in 90 seconds and saves my team at least 3 hours every single day thinking about that handoff process that was going to come. Now, this is what a CSM, in my opinion, needs to know for a kickoff. You might have additional things that you need depending on the platform that you work with, what you sell, and what you need. But to me, this is table stakes, bare minimums. I need to know why they bought, why they really bought, what was the pain. I need to know what their desired outcome and success criteria is, and that needs to be defined. I need their own actual words, their own metrics, what they need. I need to know who's involved, who are the key stakeholders, who I need to be aware of. And I need to see any flag, any smoke signal, anything out there that I should be aware of that could be a potential stop sign, pit stop, or actually a blocker for us moving forward. These are my internal notes, and this is what I need to know, and this is what gets produced for me. Now, yes, AI gets to do all of this, but that doesn't mean that humans are out of the loop. There's still a lot that humans have to do. AI gets to collect and summarize and flag and create a debrief, but sales needs to make sure that we confirm that this happens, fill in any missing content in it, check for their own accuracy. CS should validate that this is the truth, adjust plan, and then run the agenda. And then leadership needs to be involved to make sure that the motion actually moves well and that the quality that the agent is producing is good. And if there are any gaps in the system, then leadership needs to close those gaps. Here's my plea to you. If this was inspiring and this is something that you want to do, please don't wake up tomorrow morning and go, oh my God, Liran says I need an AI agent for handoff and go build one. Build it for one handoff, not for the entire ocean. Test it with one handoff. Make sure that you have defined requirements for it. Make sure that you connect the right resources. When I started, our CRM was a mess. I bet some of you all have a messy CRM as well. If your CRM is a mess, don't connect it. It's going to give you wrong information. It's going to be bad. You could actually build this agent based on just your call recorder or internal notes or emails or whatever it is that you need. Choose at least two data sources that you know for a fact will be clean and as unbiased as possible. Connect those. Test it, QA it, test it with different people from sales and CS. Build it for a deal that already closed to see what you were missing and what he would tell you. And then measure the gaps where things aren't working so that you can move forward and see where things need to be built next. Don't go out and try to do the big thing at once. Start small. Start maybe with a past handoff and then go from there. And finally, I'll leave you with this. For me, today, kickoff are very different. They don't interact the same because we've built this. This process means that my customer success team, everyone who's in post sales, has all the context that they need and less of the chaos that they need. The handoff becomes better. No one's wasting time filling out templates or forms or anything of that sort to create chaos, but actually owns it together as one whole team. That's the end of my presentation. The rest is an appendix with how to.
And we will be sharing this appendix in our resource hub. So not only will you be able to catch Liron's recording, but you can follow along on the deck and dive into this appendix. Liron, we have a couple questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, did you clean up your CRM before starting to use this?
So, as I said, the CRM was not clean when I started. So, I did not start with a CRM. I started with a call recorder, our Google Drive, where it had all the docs that were given and emails. And then I worked with my team to clean up the CRM so that we could connect the CRM. I did not want to connect anything dirty or messy. If you connect anything that's messy, you're going to get exponential mess and chaos. So again, if your CRM is messy, don't connect the CRM, connect something else.
I feel like that's a great quote, exponential mess. Um, so the next question, do you have a centralized place that everyone can see the handoff? Like, does it end up in the CRM?
Yeah, so the notification itself falls into a Slack channel that everyone in the company is part of, so everyone can see it. For me, it is about accountability across the entire organization. I want everyone to see what flags customers come in with, what promises we are making, what expectations they have. This is critical information for everyone who works in your company, from your marketing team to your sales team to engineering and product to your executive leadership. Once you have it all in one place, you can also start seeing patterns that start emerging. Anywhere from like every deal we have comes in with four red flags and two oranges. Should we fix our sales process? Should we think about how we market this? Should we think about how we do things differently? I work in the open and I work in a very transparent way. And so today, for me, this falls into a Slack channel everyone is part of.
Next question. Can you talk a little bit more about how you built it? Did you build it yourself or leverage your internal team?
Great question. Caveat, I work in an early stage startup, so I'm extremely lucky to be the admin of every single system that I needed to connect. And so I was able to do this myself in terms of building the agent. I prompted it myself and built it myself, but I've also been building in AI and AI agents for quite a while. If you're not ready, you definitely need help from others. Please use their help and assistance. If you work at a large company and you need to go through guardrails and approvals to connect certain MCPs and connect your agents to different systems, you're going to have to do that.
Next question. Was it a Claude agent?
This one specifically is a cloud agent because I needed to connect it to different systems. I have done this in ChatGPT as well. It was more manual with ChatGPT because I didn't have a way to connect my call recorder to ChatGPT and have it ingest it. But what I did when I had ChatGPT is I would download the transcripts from calls that sales had and asked it to then answer the five specific things I needed for the handoff. And then I would move it into a Slack channel or a Teams channel with all that information. Currently, I have a love affair with Claude because it does a lot of these things automatically for me, but you can also build this in ChatGPT if you don't have Claude.
How are you thinking about maintenance? Are you having to go in and iterate on a weekly basis, or is it pretty much you leave it alone?
Note to self, if you're building an agent, you're responsible for it. You're basically the parent who gave birth to a child that now either behaves or misbehaves. And if it does misbehave, that's on you. When you build an agent and you're the one who builds it, you're responsible to maintaining it. That means that I have to keep track of when it goes out of whack and reports on something that isn't really there. Or heaven forbid, we added a new field to the CRM that's critical for me and isn't currently in the prompt to go pull out. And so if you're building it, you're responsible to maintaining it. You're responsible to making sure that it's accurate. And people will come to you and ask for questions, examples, and explanations when it's not.
Follow-up question to that one. How long do you take every week to maintain it, to work on maintenance?
Ooh, good question. I have to think about that. I'd say for this specific one, I probably run a diagnosis every 2 weeks on whether the data is accurate, where things are missing, do we have new fields. This isn't the type of agent where I meet with weekly to make adjustments unless changes are made or I heard from someone on the team that something is off or something is missing. But I do keep a close eye on it. So I would say it's probably a check-in every 2 weeks, maybe half an hour.
Got it. Next question I can actually help answer, which is where do we find the appendix with instructions on how to build the agent? I just dropped it in chat, but also we'll be sending a link to our resource hub, which will have the recording of Liron as well, if you want to pop her up and work alongside her, but it'll also have the link to the deck with appendix as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't gate the information. I don't make you comment in LinkedIn or send me $5 bills so you can get access to what I have. Information sharing is caring and it's useful. So this is what I have. I built the appendix. If you've got additional questions, happy to help.
Yes, and we encourage all of our attendees to go ahead and connect with Liron on LinkedIn and follow her too for some really great content on all things AI. So I think that was it for questions. There was quite a few, so I'm sure people are very curious on how to build this. So want to thank Liron for what was such an amazing session, and also thank you to everyone else for attending. Oh, I see a raised hand. Is there a
Oh,
question popping up? We got time. Okay, maybe not. Okay, that might have been an accident. Someone got really excited. Anyways, thank you everyone, and hope you enjoy the rest of the summit. Bye, y'all.
bye.